Hey, did you watch any football yesterday?
Unfortunately, a game in Las Vegas that was quite the snooze fest.
My TV set was on. I don't know if that was football I was watching, but oh my goodness, in all of my years, I ended up watching this team for 46 years. And I don't know if I thought the Bears game was tough. And I had friends that were at that game that said that was the worst experience. Now I'm sitting in a basement where I always watch the games with very, very good friends. And we're struggling. we were struggling to watch that game, man.
Dude, it was so I should clarify. I didn't watch the game. I was listening to Paul Allen, who calls a great game, by the way. Everyone, listen to a Paul Allen game. It's a good time.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, like, Paul gives you a lot of demonstrative energy and whatnot, and
Vikings are going to win! Are you kidding me? Yes, drop that ball, Josh Allen! That ball came loose! Holy cow! 29-yard try left hash for Tyler Bass. Snap spot. Bass! Game tied. 2 seconds to go. 30-30. 5:58 to go in overtime. 3rd and 10 from the Bills' 26. Vikings with one timeout left empty backfield. Cousins shotgun. Bills rush 4 this time. Kirk straight in the pocket. Throws to the right. Caught! Jefferson at the 2-yard line. Snap spot. Joseph. Yes.
Boy, you could tell it was hard for him. And Pete Bursich right next to him was also like, that was some of the hardest I've ever, like,
yeah.
He just sounded like that dad who's just always complaining about what his kid's team is doing or something, because it was a rough game to listen to.
I could imagine not seeing it with my,
And I got to give props to Paul, though, because, you know, he gave you times when you give the fist pump, but then you're like, oh shit, it's 0-0 still in the fourth quarter. And it's like, it's great to come out with a win, but at the same time, you're like, boy, what's it going to look like going forward? Because the defense was phenomenal, and you have to shut out the defense, but boy, the offense was rough to see.
Yep. So let's get to that, because, you know, as I'm watching with my good friends, and these are guys that I watch every game with, whether we go to them or we watch them in the same spot. And I came down at the end of the third quarter and I said, guys, our defense is pitching a shutout. Like we would be ecstatic in any other situation. If your team is giving up no points, you would absolutely be giddy. And it didn't seem like we could rally around that, even though you knew. And I just kept saying, haven't given a touchdown up in 5 quarters now, 6 quarters now, 7 quarters now. We've only given up 1 touchdown in the last 3 games, and we have a 1-2 fucking record. You know, so it was rough. And, you know, finally I made a comparison. I said, this is the equivalent of someone saying, let's get George Foreman to fight Butterbean in a 12-round fight, and the only thing is you have to watch every round, and they have to go all 12 rounds. And, you know, while we're in Vegas, how about we play a football game between the Raiders and the Vikings? It was that bad. It was such a joke. Worst football I've ever seen.
Absolutely. And it's hard to I don't know. I mean, Kevin O'Connell gives these locker room speeches at the end of the games. I don't know if you've ever seen them.
Yep.
And I was really curious, one, if they were even going to put one out, because
you have to give it to the defense. You have to.
Well, you do, and he did, and that was about the only thing he said. But I mean, I commend him for giving a nice post-game speech, but at the same time, you could tell it was hard on him. But I got to credit him where credit is due when it comes to benching Josh Dobbs and throwing Nick Mullins in there. because there was a little bit of a spark to squeeze a field goal through.
So let's get to that, because if I have to say I was wrong on camera, then I'm going to say that we were right as well. Like, as far as the defense, I think you did ask me, well, how do you think we're going to win? Who's going to have the big game? And I said defense, right? We didn't get any turnovers for touchdowns, but I still stand by the fact that you had to start Joshua Dobbs on Sunday in Las Vegas. But once again, if you watched the last podcast, I said, what's the over-under on him passing for 100 yards? You know how many he had?
7?
69 yards passing. Justin Jefferson, 2 catches for 29 yards. I said 3 for anywhere between 25 and 50. Now, had he stayed in the game, do I think he would have had more catches? Probably, but then again, not the way that Dobbs was playing in this game. And here's the deal. I think at halftime, I was talking with my friends and I said, no, I think O'Connell's going to go with Dobbs again, because he hasn't turned the ball over at all. And I think that was the only factor that kept him in the game. But you got to remember, like, everyone was waiting to see how Jefferson would open his game up, and he let him out to dry, man. Like, that injury was all on Josh Dobbs, dude, and he got fucking drilled, you know? So my only thing on that was, yeah, I would have started him the second half, but I think another 3 and out, and that's when I would pull. And last podcast, I didn't say anything nice about, is it Sean Mullins? No, Nick Mullins. I didn't think that Mullins was really going to do anything. However, in an entire game of no points, nothing, like first downs, anything, Mullins comes right in and leads the team right down the field, at least to get within field goal range. And so my question for you is, would you have pulled Dobbs earlier if you were the coach?
I think the hard part, and you called me at halftime and we talked a little bit, was a lot of the stuff that Dobbs was doing was not necessarily his fault. Protection wasn't great. Minus his passing just wasn't very crisp, but a lot of it, he didn't turn the ball over, but yeah, I mean, 1 billion 3 and outs.
6 drop passes. Your boy Osborne had 3 motherfucking drop passes, and they're right in their hands.
And he got benched. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yep.
Jalen Naylor came in and
then got hurt.
Yeah. You got to credit Mullins, and I'm wondering if it was not necessarily Mullins or maybe the team that was just like, get Josh Dobbs out of here, because I think some frustration maybe with the hospital pass he threw to Jefferson, and I think just a little bit of the team was not behind Dobbs. It felt like for the past couple games, and I think they maybe just wanted a change. And do I think Mullins is a good person to keep rolling with? I mean, no, but if he's going to give you the best chance to win, I guess. But
well, I don't think that you're ever going to see Dobbs in, even if Mullins got hurt on the first play, I think you've got to go to Hall. I don't know if that'll happen.